This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. Their in-studio podcast experience allows you to record perfect audio and capture amazing video. That's all right here at the Mitt TV podcast studio in Romeo, Michigan. Contact them now via email for a free consultation and to schedule a studio visit at mitt.tvpodcast@gmail.com. This morning's program is with Steve Krason, and Steve is running for treasurer for Roos Township. And Steve, we found that over the years, every election, our residents come to us and say, hey, can you run that, get to know your candidates again? Because a lot of us, we live so fast and we don't really have time unless we have a reason to be involved with Roos Township or our governments, that we never really know exactly who's in charge, who's running the place. And as long as we don't have it affect us, our children, our backyards, our water, our electric bill, nobody really knows. So they get to the polls and they want to vote to be responsible, but they really don't know who to vote for. They recognize a name or two, and that's it. So we're just here on casual conversation, and I know you're brand new to all this because we've spoken before. So we just want to know a little bit more about you, about your family, and how you got to this position. So why don't you give us a little update about yourself and your family?
Give you a little background. I'm a University of Michigan graduate with 2 degrees in business administration and management information systems. I moved out here about 10 years ago to Roos Township with my family. The whole purpose was to raise my family. I moved out here because I love the rural atmosphere, the small town feel, and I wanted to get away from the city. I actually came out here because I wanted to grow my own food and start a nonprofit farm with the whole purpose of feeding people in need, sort of like a CSA style.
Right.
So that was, that's why I came out here. I have 3 children now, ages 8, 10, and 13.
Wow. Young family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of energy.
Yeah.
They keep me busy.
Do they like the farm concept?
They do at times. So,
Yeah.
it's
a lot of work.
When I had a full greenhouse, I had them all. I have a 96 by 30-foot greenhouse.
Wow.
I had all 3 kids out there picking tomatoes, pruning tomato plants, and it's a blast. I love it.
Yeah. They're young kids.
Yes.
Are they in the Romeo school districts?
Yes, they are. All 3 of them. 2 are in Amanda Moore.
Okay.
And my oldest is at the middle school.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, that's a young family. You got plenty of farm hands there.
Yes.
So you moved out to the rural area, basically, to make your dream come true.
That was the plan.
How did that work out for you?
Well, life tends to have other plans. I had some serious health conditions about 2.5 years ago that almost took me out.
Wow.
I've been recovering since. I made some serious lifestyle changes to focus on my health because I knew my family needed me.
Right.
So I changed it, and God got involved. He's like he's the only reason I am still here is because of God, and so it's been taking me down this journey. It's been a crazy couple of years. I'm healthier now than I've been in a long time.
Wonderful.
I'm getting my energy back, and it also completely changed my perspective on life and what was important. All the things that I used to think were important aren't. I've been running my own business now for 25 years.
Okay.
And I've been down I used to work in hospitals across the country building enterprise infrastructure.
Okay.
So, it's
IT.
It's IT work. It's a multi-million-dollar industry, or billion-dollar, I would say. But, it's a lot of work, and, it's high stress, and, it's a 24/7 job being in IT and healthcare. So.
Right. So you say this is your business? Are you an independent contractor?
I'm an independent contractor.
Okay. Great.
I do also do web hosting, web development. I used to do a lot of that. So I've kind of been my hands in everything IT.
Okay.
So I even go to small businesses, which is completely the opposite side.
To develop websites?
I've done websites, even gone into like a pediatrician's office and help manage all their computers, keep them online.
Okay.
I'm kind of willing to do whatever. I'm not really tied into one specific thing, though I
Yeah.
focus primarily on the large scale healthcare for the last 15 years.
Okay.
And
And that's what brought you to growing your own vegetables. When
yeah,
you see when you see the medical field and
yes,
healthcare. Oh my goodness.
and my own health had a lot of it to do with that as
Mhm.
well. So I wanted to be healthier, wanted to live a different lifestyle. And, you know, I'll
So
go,
what are the kind of changes that you made to make a healthier lifestyle?
well, I did a ton of research, and I am mostly a strict version of keto called carnivore.
Hmm.
Um, and essentially, the idea is to reduce all the inflammation and the toxins that are in your food system. So
Right.
that's what I focused on.
Do
And
you
that
find organic beef and organic meat?
when I can afford it.
Yeah.
So I
You're in Bruce Township. You should be able to find that kind of
I
thing.
can find it. It's just that stuff's not always,
You need to make friends with the
yeah,
farmers. Yeah.
go find the cattle farmers.
Yeah. Oh, we do it by going to the Armada Art Fair
Yeah.
or the Armada Fair and getting the 4-H kids beef, and that's 100%
Yeah.
organic. So that's my yearly truck down there to get my beef. So
Yeah, I need to do more of that.
yeah, yep. So when you came into Bruce Township and with kind of a mission, to get healthy, get your family into a beautiful area. And now, why in the world? Why in the world would you choose to, take your time away from your family and your farm and dedicate it to a position like treasurer for
Well,
Bruce Township?
I've been watching as what's going on in this country. I mean, politics are out of control.
Yeah,
Honestly, I
absolutely.
can't even stomach watching TV anymore. I turned off cable. I don't want any part of it.
Me too.
And
Yeah,
it's all negative and it's all the same. It doesn't
it's all
change.
propaganda.
It is
Yeah,
propaganda, and it just keeps recycling again and again and again. They come in, they promise, oh, we're gonna do all this, do that, but really it's just the same thing over and over again. So I'm kind of like, how do I help my community?
mm-hmm.
And a friend said, hey, you should run for treasurer. I'm like, I'm like, okay, if that's where I can help my community, I will do it. I'm pretty much all in to serve my community.
Mm-hmm.
Just point me in the right direction. So this is the direction I got pointed. And, it was crazy. It's a little bit crazy.
Yeah,
I did not
it's a
know
lot
what I was getting
crazy.
into. I'll be honest. I didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah,
It's a bit overwhelming at times, and just the
sure.
politics of things.
Yeah.
But
So have you followed it for very long as far as Bruce Township's, meetings and all of that? Or are you just
I've
are you just
I've been
jumping in?
following it since maybe July is when I
Mm.
first started going to all the meetings, and it was an eye opener. I was shocked,
Yeah.
to say the least. I mean, I wasn't really surprised, but I was shocked at the current state of things and what I was hearing, and that was like, okay, I'm in. I want to. I want to save my community if I can. I want to get politics out of local government. I mean, the politics are the same no matter what. But what if we change the system? I mean, I truly believe that it starts with local. If we want to change the direction of this country, we have to start at the local level. And
Yeah.
and that means real people getting involved. I'm a father, a husband. That I'm doing this for my children, my family, not
Right.
for any political reason. I haven't, I don't really care as much about the politics, but
Mm-hmm.
there are things that need to be addressed. And I started looking back and I'm like, I was kind of shocked at how long some of these issues have been kicked down the road. I mean, like the liabilities and the debt of over 6.5 million shocked me. And I was like, where's the plan to fix this?
Right. Right.
And do I have all the answers yet? No. and I'll admit that these are long-term issues that have been
And
plagued
big
for a while.
problems.
They are.
So where are you going to find the support and the knowledge to fix those problems in just coming in new?
Well, it starts with starting to talk to everybody, I mean, like getting people in a room and just saying, hey, where are the issues at? I mean, and working as a team, which is something that seems to be problematic at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
but work as a team to come up with strategic solutions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was starting to look up at OPEB unfunded liabilities, and there are actually specialist companies out there who can help you develop a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of those are touchy subjects,
Sure.
so it's sometimes you might need a third party mediator to kind of say, hey, look, hard decisions,
Mm-hmm.
have someone else make the recommendation for hard decisions when I can't,
Right.
and
But
who has an outside voice.
bringing in outside businesses is also costly.
Yes.
So, I mean, how do
I,
you justify that when Bruce
well, I don't.
Township has had financial issues also?
Yes, but I would first look to see what we can do first. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think we need outside resources for everything, but there are some times where a third party set of eyes can be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to realize that, like, hey, look, if we keep trying to address the same issue in the same way and it keeps failing, we need to try something different.
Right. Right. So, what would you do? Say that you got that position. What would you do first? What
First,
would be your first call to action?
first thing I'm going to do is pull up the last 10, 15 years of financials and just start digging through it in one page at a time until I have
Mm-hmm.
an understanding of where we started, how we got there, and how we got to where we're at today.
Mm-hmm.
And start, come up with strategic plans. I'm a very frugal person by nature. So that's one thing I need to say.
Most farmers are.
Yeah. But
By
what,
necessity.
yes. But my wife would say a little too frugal. But I believe in actually having a balanced budget. Like I'm cash based for the most part. I mean, how
Mm-hmm.
many people do that anymore?
Right.
So like I pay all my debts off every month.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I'm like, we should be doing that as a city. We need to have a balanced budget, spend what we make. And if we need to cut back and make hard decisions, we need to do that.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's a difficult direction to take. I mean, that's a lot of work. Are you prepared? You ready for it?
Well, when I jump into something, I'm all in.
Yeah.
It's that simple for me. If it's worth doing, do it 100%, 110%,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And getting into that position of treasurer, I mean, it also has to do with, like you said, getting everybody together. How are you with conflict resolution in, working with people across the table and saying, listen, we've got to agree or disagree,
Yep.
but stay friendly
Yep.
and work together. I mean, how do you do that? What's
Well,
your plan?
I've been working with large scale hospitals across the country. Probably not a whole lot different when dealing with CEOs and doctors. They all have very different needs, and every hospital is different too. I mean, I've worked at least a dozen different hospitals, implementing like their EMR system, the systems that basically run these hospitals.
Okay.
So I got to work with all these different people and make them happy. And, so it's, for me, communication is key. Over communicating. For me, I feel the need to over communicate to make sure everyone knows we're all on the same page and to kind of get the details out and make sure there's no confusion, because confusion tends to lead to a lot of the issues. It's just people being unclear about what is going on.
Right. Right.
So for me, it's focus on communication and just, I'm open to talking to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
If someone picks up the phone and calls me, I'm like, sure, let's talk.
Right.
Come, want to stop by my house and meet with me and let's talk? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about just being available and open to hearing what people have to say. And
So how do you, with Bruce and every area, I believe, everybody moves here and says, okay, I'm here now, shut the door. Right? You shut the gates, I'm here.
I've heard that. For me, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from because my brain doesn't work like that. Hey, if you want to move out to Bruce, great.
Mhm.
I mean, I love it here. Well,
But there's a big issue always in Bruce Township about keeping things rural.
absolutely.
And since you're now part of that wheel,
I am.
even though you're a treasurer position, but where's your thoughts on that?
Well, we have a well-written master plan.
Mhm.
I believe we need to follow it. And, I think a lot of the decisions that get made, like I look at some of the subdivisions going in, the condos, and I'm looking at our master plan and they don't align.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ask, how did we get these here? And then I also hear from the community and I'm like, the community seems to be overwhelmingly against it. So
Always.
And so my opinion is we need to listen to people. It's all about the voice of the community. It's, as a leader, I'm looking to the voice of the community to guide my direction.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about what I want, but what the people want.
So how in a rural area do you connect with your people? Do you connect with those voices? Because it's almost like how it happens even nationally. You get a representative and they come in and they're a public servant and they have all this passion, and then
It dies off.
it dies off because they move to Washington. They're not listening to you
Right.
anymore. They don't
Oh,
even know about your life. What's your plan to, keep in touch with the people that really matter and know their opinions?
well, I'll tell you what I've done so far. I've gone
Okay.
door to door, even, in the rural area where the driveways are,
That's a
we're
tough
talking
job.
10
There's
acre
your
lots.
exercise.
It is. It's been great exercise, but actually asking people what are their concerns.
Yeah.
And it's been a great response. And, there's a lot of concern about these subdivisions that keep popping up, the condos, property taxes, another one that keeps coming up, the water bills, so I'm listening to what people have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's part of it. And part of it, the next part of that is in office. I want to build community. Part of my plan is to figure out how to get everyone together, get people more involved in the community. I mean, one of the things I look is we got this beautiful park that is underutilized.
Yeah.
Let's have music and movie nights in the park in the summer every week. I mean, let's bring events in. I mean, for me, I'm going to be there. I'll be there like, hey, I'll set up tent and say, come talk to me.
Yeah.
I want to hear what your opinions are. I want to talk to people. I want to get to know them. I want to, one thing I've learned is that if you get the children together, the parents follow.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big park person, so
and
I truly believe that.
And that kind of also, I'll touch a little bit on my past, is I've spent a lot of time working with youth. I currently serve at Orchard Ridge in their youth ministry there.
Oh, yeah. Great program.
It is. It's great. My daughter's there and she's heavily involved. For that, I was at Kensington Community Church for about a decade. So, I mean, the youth to me are one of the most important things. They are our future. So I want family events that will bring them out and bring their parents and get them families talking and hanging out together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you build a community and you build beauty around like that park area,
yeah,
like you will draw people in,
right,
and you'll get people more involved. And I think that's what it's going to take.
And especially after COVID.
Yes.
There was a huge need for fellowship, for gathering, so people can actually have a conversation and share ideas
Absolutely
with one another instead of behind a computer screen. So it's the mental health is important in our country, and parks and green spaces, which I'm a huge advocate with. And that is a beautiful park, and they have made some changes, some good enhancements.
Yes.
With the music in the park, and I think they're going to have a new statue or a piece of art going into the park. So there has been some positive changes, especially after COVID, with everybody wanting to be in a park.
Right.
So, but with you going in as the treasurer, what would you do differently than the present treasurer in that position?
Well, I've heard of some disorganization. Like I've talked to like one person who like sent in a check and didn't get cashed 2 months later, and then they had to pay fees on it. And I'm like, things happen, yes, but there needs to be a very acute attention to detail. Something that for me is natural being in IT. My attention to detail is number one, but we just need to be more organized and more frugal in thinking and real. I mean, it always seems like government spending is more, they don't take into account that this is other people's money. And for me, I am naturally frugal. Like, so when I'm looking at other people's money, I treat it as my own. I spend it like I would my own money. So it's going to be, looking through, being very detailed and just saying, hey, do we actually need this? Or are there other alternatives? Not just say, hey, this is the best thing, let's go for it and do it, without really counting the cost. But you need to count the cost first.
Right.
And you need to take that into account when you're making financial decisions and say, hey, look, is this the best thing for the future of our community? Not, and unlike now where sometimes it feels like we're just racking up debt and let the next administration deal with it.
Mm-hmm. So on your first day in office, what would you do? That's always the question.
I don't have one
because you
easy
can have
solution.
A lot of ideals. You can have, a lot of motivation for those ideals. But when you have to sit down and tackle the actual issue, like how would you start?
Well, like the say the unfunded liabilities. I am going to sit down and have a conversation with everybody involved and find out what their thoughts are on it. First of all, tell me where we, and also kind of get their ideas. I want to know what they think they can change on their side that can help us with this issue.
Okay.
And I realize it's going to be a lot of little things. It's not going to be one single thing that's going to fix everything.
Right.
So it's going to take everyone getting involved and, addressing it and
It's on the ground.
Yes. It's all about, getting to work. We just got to get it done. It's not, get the politics out and just get back to work and focus on the task at hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what IT work is. You're just like,
yeah,
here's where we need to get to. Let's get it done. And the solution can change over time. I mean, it's not, the requirements change constantly in IT work.
Yes.
So I'm assuming it's going to be
my background too. So
much
I know
the
exactly
same.
what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. So if you were to talk to your voters that are going to be going to the ballot on November 5th, what would you tell them why you want them to vote for you?
I think we need a change in direction. What we've been doing and continue to do doesn't work. We can't just keep going the same way. We need to make changes, hard changes. We need to say, hey, look, what is best for this community? And it feels like it's more of a popularity contest than it is, who is actually qualified to do the job. And I have the background in business. I have the education. I can do the work. And I also have, a different vision for policy. How I view things is more about the people. It's about community. Community is my focus. And so whatever is the best interest of the community is what I want to do. And not what I want. I want to put Bruce back in the hands of the people and let them decide the future.
And how do people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you, if they want to know what you believe in your direction? Do they have a way of communicating with you directly?
Well, I have a website, stevekrason.org, and also give me a call. I will answer and talk to you, and I want to hear people's concerns. My phone number is 586-242-7604.
Say that again.
586-242-7604.
Boy, you're going to be getting all these calls now.
I welcome it.
Is your wife ready for that?
Luckily, it's a cell phone, so
good.
But
good.
I'm totally welcome to hearing what people want. I even want people's feedback on solutions. I know we got a lot of very smart people in Bruce Township.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want the community to get more involved in these solutions too.
Right.
It's not just me. It needs to be a community effort if we're going to bring Bruce back to where it needs to be.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. So you're going to be working very hard to get a hold of people door to door. You're going to be talking to them on the phone. You're going to have them go to your website. And we're glad you came here today to talk to us at the Mitt TV. And people will be able to listen to this on Spotify. They'll be able to watch it on YouTube, on our Facebook page, and on your website when we give you the link. So I want to just thank you for coming out to the Mitt TV today and visiting with us and getting to know you better.
Thank you very much, Ruth.